Another day, another retro handheld, but this time, it's not from the usual suspect, Anbernic. Anbernic actually just recently released a handheld, the Anbernic RG40XXV. But now, Retroid is finally releasing a new handheld, their last device being the Retroid Pocket 4 and 4 Pro. This one is seemingly going to compete more directly with the Anbernic RG35XXH, which is an interesting play in considering this device is speculated to have a whole host of very compelling features, while not knowing the exact price yet does have it remain to be seen whether or not this device will be actually worth it or financially worth it when that comes out. So let's just jump right into this. Most recent Retroid devices have been really good. I love their design, they feel solid in the hands, they're incredibly portable. And with this newest announcement of the Retroid Pocket Mini, it's supposed to be their take on a more portable system, sort of like the 35XXH from Anbernic. It's going to have roughly a 3.5-inch screen with a 3:4 aspect ratio, very similar to the old Retroid Pocket 2S. If this new Retroid Pocket Mini is going to be around this form factor, it signals potentially that it should be around that level of performance and price. And personally, for me, I always thought the Retroid Pocket 2S was probably one of the best bang for your bucks under $100, being $99, but who said it can't be right on that edge? I haven't been able to confirm this, but I have found multiple sources online discussing the potential of this device having a chip from Qualcomm, and I don't know what it could be. My theories is if they are going Qualcomm, it's probably going to be a Snapdragon chip. And if it's Snapdragon, it's going to be a much cheaper chip, so maybe something like the 765G or an older, 8 series chip, maybe something like the Snapdragon 888 or the 835, just something a fair bit older, so they don't have to charge so much to be able to keep it in the device. Other speculation is that the device is going to have an OLED display, which honestly would be amazing. I feel like we often do not see OLED displays on these retro handhelds, except the Anbernic RG55-6. I've made quite a few videos discussing that handheld, and I always come back to the point that that device has an amazing screen. And if this new Retroid device has an OLED display, that would be phenomenal, because these retro games look phenomenal on OLED displays. Retroid originally announced this with 5 different colors, but as of yesterday announced that they're completely scrapping all of the colors and only doing 3 other colors, those being orange and white, red and black, and gray and white. Basically a classic gray and white NES, but with like rainbow buttons, so it's just a very classic design, but trying not to be labeled hit or anything of those copyright problems. Something you might have noticed with the reveal of this device, it has a radically different design from basically any other Retroid device. This might be a signal that they're going to be changing design languages soon. From what I've seen of the reveal and any of the promotional images out there, that this device looks very similar to some of iNeo's devices, having with that flat glossy front panel being the nice rounded sides and bottoms for comfortable grip. I find it very interesting that they've decided to redesign their device this way. I thought they would have gone for a very similar design to something that they have established with the Retroid Pocket 4 and 4 Pro. I always really liked the design, found it very pocketable, very comfortable in the hands, just not for very long play sessions, but I'm usually whipping something like that out for basically just normal play of Mario or something like that, and then throwing it back into my pocket to deal with it later. For the operating system, I do hope this continues to run Android like the Retroid Pocket 2S, because no matter how much these Anbernic devices improve and their performance gets better or just newer and better designs, it's just the Linux operating system that they have developed just isn't great, and a lot of those devices get held up by amazing community development projects, things like Garlic OS, MIUI. In the past, I've used stuff like 351elec on my old 351M. If this new Retroid device runs Android but maintains its, decent price, it would be amazing, because honestly, I vastly prefer the Android operating system over the Linux-based stuff we've seen. Android offers a level of ease and just overall customizability that I vastly prefer over the Linux-based stuff we've seen. Yes, custom firmware and custom development projects are out there, but overall, it seems like a lot of effort when you could just deliver me a finished or complete product. I shouldn't have to rely on the community to finish the device for you. Android isn't perfect either. Any of the problems I do have with Android are either easily fixed or don't require me at the very least to reinstall the entire operating system like you might have to do if you're dealing with other firmwares and other OSs out there for stuff like Ambernet. This new Retroid device, assuming it maintains its position right around the Retroid Pocket 2S, should be a massive boon in that space. It's the perfect device that we need to start engaging competition, really start having these companies make a good budget handheld that can offer amazing performance. If this device does actually use Snapdragon chips, I would love to see this device to be able to play most, if not all, of the PS2 and GameCube libraries. Because I feel like that's been the goal this whole time. Eventually reach the point where even the cheapest handhelds out there can run GameCube and PS2 titles. I feel like that's the bar for most people, because once you start entering Wii, Vita, 3DS emulation, you start entering the territory of you can still buy some of these games on the shelf. I remember the last time I went to a Walmart, which was like a couple weeks ago, I went in there and they were still selling Just Dance for the Wii, though it's like the only Wii games they sold. But still, you can go buy a brand new Wii game to this day. Even my local Target still has a few 3DS games on the shelf. That's why I feel like the bar for most people is getting GameCube and PS2 emulation, because it's like just old enough to the point where it's like very justifiable to emulate it, especially because a lot of those games from the generation haven't seen any re-releases, unlike a lot of the PS2 titles, though those did get a lot of re-releases and remakes, honestly. That's neither here nor there, though. Overall, I feel like that is going to be the perfect level of performance to have at that price point, because I feel like a device with that performance and price would be incredibly popular. A lot of the devices in that segment are developed and made by Ambernet, but there isn't a lot of other competition out there that I would recommend. There's Powkitty, there's Trim UI, I think is what that company's called. A few others, there's Miyu, but nothing that offers a serious level of performance that is capable enough to emulate GameCube and PS2 titles. There's a lot of amazing stuff out there, but it's basically based around the same RK something or other chipset or the H700 chipset, nothing particularly powerful. They're still struggling with N64 and PSP emulation at that price point, and I would really like to see some serious performance increases in competition, and I hope that this new Retroid device offers that. I would love to hear what you guys think. Are you excited about this new device coming from Retroid? I would love to hear what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media garbage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.